Welcome back to the Stephen Knight Show. Adam, how's it going?
It's going good, Steven. How are you guys?
Can't complain. We got this is our second to last show before wrap up season 10. What do you have planned for the holidays?
So right now, staying in mainly. Actually, moving next week, but
Oh, you're moving?
then just like a block away, so
Okay.
not too far. But just moving down the road and maybe Atlanta, but it's getting tougher and tougher each day, and we haven't even hit the post
I know.
Thanksgiving scare. So
We haven't hit it yet.
Yeah.
And Dr. Fucci said he's more concerned about the Christmas spike than Thanksgiving because of Christmas, New Year's Eve. It's all back to back. People traveling and whatnot.
Yeah. I think it's Dr. Fauci, but yeah, Fucci works too.
Whatever. You know his name. All right. Well, I'll let you take it away with movie reviews.
Sure thing. So I got a chance to catch up on the latest movie by David Fincher called Mank, which is on Netflix right now. And it follows the story of Herman Mankiewicz and his process in writing Citizen Kane and his history behind that. So it stars Gary Oldman, and it's really a movie that is a lot about kind of that silver age of Hollywood, the 30s, and for anyone who doesn't know kind of the story of Citizen Kane, it really is a story about William Randolph Hearst, the newspaper magnate of the time, and how Mankiewicz got involved in Hearst's inner circle and how he learned about kind of what was going on at the time. And the reason I'm kind of giving this vague go about of his history is because this movie is really good, and it has a lot of good performances by not just Gary Oldman, but many others. But it requires you to know a lot. And by that, I mean, you've had to have seen Citizen Kane. You have to know who William Randolph Hearst is. You have to know kind of the politics of 1930s Hollywood at the time. So I did like it. It is in black and white completely, and it is a good story and it's well done, but it is a movie that I will give you a heads up, do some research about before you get into this, because it will be confusing unless you know otherwise. But it is on Netflix, and it's a nice kind of different watch for the season.
Nice.
Okay, cool.
Chike, you've been watching, or did you finish The Undoing?
Oh yes.
I binge watched that last week in one day. That was so good. That was so good.
We don't lie here on the Stephen Knight Show. We tell you the truth.
Oh my gosh, that was so good. It was like the 12 o'clock. I watched the last episode.
I like that it's quick and short. To give you episodes and it's done. There and it's up in the air if there's going to be another season or not. But then again, it doesn't have to be. It could be the end of the show. You never know.
Those cliffhangers at the end of each episode.
Oh my God! It left you like this. Oh my God!
How long did it take y'all to know that?
We have a special.
No, I'll say, how long did it take you
before
you realize about what? I'm not gonna say that what it is, because some people might not have seen it.
I know
spoilers now.
Right. Okay. That's what I was saying. Like, so my girl was watching it, and then
the only point that I got a little like was when she found the weapon in her son's room.
Yeah.
Come on, Steve.
No, I didn't say what it was.
Now I know there's a weapon. Did someone get murdered too? What's going on here?
You have to watch and see. You have to watch and see.
Guess so.
But anyway, Chike, introduce our guest for us.
Well, that's really not the order in which I did it, but since David spoke up and he ruined my surprise because he was supposed to be at the end. Ladies and gentlemen, my co-host on No Lies Detected, actor, musician, just an all-around, just dynamic dude, Mr. David Rain. I asked him to come and be a part of this because I'm actually reviewing one of his movies. This is a Stephen Knight Show first. I've never had an actual person from the film be on with us. I normally bring them on later for another separate interview, but he's here as I'm going to review his movie to his face.
I hope it's good.
Let's pray it's a good review, right?
Yeah.
Mr. David Rain, how are you, sir?
I'm well, man. Thank you for having me, guys, and hello to everybody. Sorry, I blew the surprise. I didn't know I was a surprise.
Man. Okay. Well, I'm still gonna go through my other stuff first, and then I'm gonna do King of Knives at the end.
Okay.
So one of the things that I'm watching on Netflix is season 4 of Big Mouth, is the animated series by Nick Kroll, which basically talks to puberty and becoming an adolescent, and it's so hilarious.
Love
And
it.
the 4th season just gives you more of the same. I love this cartoon, and it's not a cartoon for children, it's a cartoon for adults, and it's to remind you of how things were when you were going through puberty and you were in middle school and coming of age. David, do you watch it?
I do. I love it. As a matter of fact, I got excited when I saw the new season was coming on. So yeah, we watched it. Yeah. But you should probably tell people to catch it from the first season. To, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, yeah. You got to watch it from the first season because it's a nice progression. I don't know how far they're gonna go with this. Hopefully they'll probably take it to maybe to high school, maybe.
Right.
I mean, they're already in middle school, so hopefully they can carry it on. Adam, do you watch?
I seen maybe like the first episode, but I haven't been convinced yet. But I've heard it's one of those shows that takes a few episodes to get into.
Yeah. It's in your face. It's pretty raunchy, pretty explicit, but it's hilarious as hell.
It's on a level of like BoJack Horseman.
Oh, I do love BoJack. So you know, I enjoy Nick Kroll enough. Like, I don't know if I can have him as a lead, but if it's an animated show, I'm sure I'll be fine.
Well, it's him and Jordan Peele. They're both the lead. They play best friends.
Yeah.
So definitely check it out. Give it a whirl. The next thing that I watched was the season premiere of Euphoria, the second season with Zendaya. This first episode was different in the sense of it was basically a long scene between her and Coleman Domingo. Coleman Domingo, shout out to Coleman Domingo from Philadelphia. Wow. First of all, this show is deep anyway because it deals with addiction from a teenager's perspective. And Coleman Domingo basically plays her sponsor, and he's having a real frank and in-your-face conversation with her about addiction, with her being 17 and him being in his 40s. Their history in dealing with addiction, hers being relatively new and his being seasoned, and how he reels her in from her thought process of what addiction is and who she thinks she is in addiction. It is just really powerful. Like it made me break down in tears how intense that scene was. Well, the long intense scene was. Basically the whole episode is just them two at a diner table going back and forth having real conversation. Definitely check it out. I think it was a real powerful opening to a season. I don't think I've ever really seen a entrance of a season that powerful. If you're a fan of the show, you may or may not really feel this first episode simply because the other characters aren't at play, but they're basically just dealing with Rue's character and her sponsor. So definitely check that out. I highly recommend it. Yes.
You were saying, okay, so I saw the first season, and Utopia basically was like a collector's comic book, right? Like it was like this crazy comic book.
Euphoria, not Utopia. Euphoria.
Euphoria.
Yeah.
But wasn't it about a place in a comic?
Utopia.
Right?
Utopia, right? Yes.
Yeah.
And you do know that Utopia, from what I hear, Utopia is now canceled on Amazon Prime. As dynamic as that was.
Shows. Okay, I got you. It took me a minute.
Yeah, you'll know Euphoria when you watch it.
Yeah.
It's a very distinct
Euphoria
show.
is a pretty decent show. You have to check it out. It's really, really good.
Right, cool.
But now that you brought up Utopia, I just have to say, Amazon, I think you're doing a grave injustice by canceling Utopia. That was a kick-ass show. And why you canceled it, I don't know. I don't know if it had to do with money, but maybe you might want to think bringing that one back because it got rave reviews from your audiences. So yeah, think about that one again. So moving on, King of Knives. So King of Knives basically follows a father and his family um, as he careens into a midlife crisis and has a subsequent breakdown, which basically affects every member of his family. And to watch this man spiral out of control is, I will say this, in the beginning, I didn't know quite what to think because it was a little slow rolling out for me. But then as it got rolling and the intricacies started spilling out and you start finding the backstory to some of the things, I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. It got deep real quick. And yeah, this film stars Gene Pope, Mel Harris, Roxy Pope, Emma Miles, and of course, Mr. David Rain. So, Mr. David Rain, spill into this what you have to offer about this movie that you were in.
Yeah, it's well. First of all, one of the things I want to say is that I was just happy to be a part of a movie that represented what America looks like. I mean, we got like every color, every sexual, background, every like. I mean, it just covers the country properly, respectfully. Nobody's a caricature. It's just really well done that way. It's a Christmas story with not a happy ending. So that's kind of fun, it's like, it's not your like, let's all skip off to the tree now, it's like, nah, stuff is jacked. So that was cool. So for me, personally, it was really interesting how it all came around. So within the year that we shot that, which was 2018, summer 2018. So while that whole year happened, I was working with a personal trainer, and I was like, you know what? Everyone keeps looking at me like, because I'm 6'1" and I'm 200 pounds. Everyone's looking at me like I should play a tough guy. I should be the beat 'em up FBI guy, the this and that and that. So I started training. I ended up doing Billions, did Blacklist as like this Black Ops CIA guy and all this. I was like, cool. And then I booked this thing as an actual trainer. So kudos to my trainer that I got booked as a trainer in a movie. You know what I mean? I was like, so that's how well he trained me.
Nice.
So that was kind of fun. But so my character is part of the spiral, as you said. So my character comes in and he trains the lead, which is Gene Pope. But he's also having an affair with his wife behind the scenes, training her. Right. So there's this whole thing where he thinks he's giving her a treat by, oh, I'm going to get my trainer Ray to massage you. And she's like, oh, Ray, like she knows me already. And the massage isn't always just a massage. So it's like that whole thing shows, the breakdown of the marriage and that whole thing and the dishonesty. But yeah, so like, besides like just being like happy to be part of something that just wasn't so just whitewash, where it's like, it would literally looked like the world. It looked like us, it looked like this group of us, including you, Adam. So we all get included. That's the point. So yeah, but yeah, that was that. I don't know if I answered the question properly, but that's my
when you see the finished product, is it the same feeling that you thought it was going to be when you were in it? Did you already know what it was going to be, while you were making it?
Right. So yeah, we do. You get the script when you first book it, and then there's a table read with everyone from producers, directors, writer, everybody. We sit in a room and read the whole movie, and then but when you actually shoot, you don't see. Like I only shot with Mel Harris, one scene with Mel Harris and a scene with Gene Pope. So I didn't see everyone that I met at the reading. So no, you don't get a feel of what it's all going to come together like until we did a screening in New York last year. So a year after we did a screening, and it was, I was kind of tripped out. So you have like these different takes that you do, and you're thinking, oh man, that take was great when I did this, and I had this like smart remark because there was some improv to it as well. Because you get a rapport with the actor you're with, and sometimes you slip out something and the crew laughs, everyone laughs, and you're like, yeah, that was really cool. But then it doesn't end up in the movie. And you're like, I thought that part was pretty cool, man. Like that, So there was so seeing certain scenes, you're like, oh man, okay, so they went that way, and I see that a lot, than the end result. So it's all up to production, what they want the movie to feel like, the whole vibe. And if you could say one line that's out of vibe and it just doesn't make it, you know, even if it's a great line. So, but yeah, so I'm actually impressed by it. I think that, you know, I think that it's a really good movie. I mean, I'm glad Amazon picked it up, Apple, iTunes, Gravitas Ventures, which means this is worldwide release. They're already stealing it. I saw there's this app I have that shows you when people are stealing movies that are out. It's it's on the list, which that's a good thing.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing.
But you know what I mean?
So it sounds like, and this might be out of your purview, but filmed in 2018, release was or premiere was last year. What was
release was December 1st this year.
Sorry. That what did you say? You had a premiere or some kind of
something that was a screening. Yeah.
What was it always planned to be released in December of this year, or was it delayed?
Well, it was delayed. It was actually supposed to be 2019, and I think that there was some sort of a delay about who was going to distribute it.
Okay.
Then we thought, okay, maybe it'll come out a little earlier. I mean, the movie takes place. The movie itself takes place at Christmas, even though we shot it in summer.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a Christmas movie, and I think that from waiting for the right contracts, waiting for the right distribution, they were like, okay, let's do this 2020. So, but we were supposed to be a theater release, you know, and all of that. So the beauty of what's happening now with a lot of stuff is that now that we know we can't go to movie theaters, releases are worldwide releases. So normally what would happen is an American movie comes out in American theaters for say 8 months, maybe if it's a great run, disappears for a little bit, then airlines pick up licensing, and then streaming services pick up licensing, and then Europe. But what's happening now is this is released everywhere at once. Yeah. So we have audiences overseas that are already looking at the movie and, you know, already reviewing, and it's already won awards in Italy and you know, different countries that are doing these little independent film awards. So it's kind of a cool like I was like, you know, you always want to see yourself in a big theater screen, but there's so much more available success,
right?
You know, when you're doing it online.
Yeah. That's a good kind of segue into kind of, and Chike, your thoughts too about Warner Brothers' decision. You know,
they're going to HBO.
Same day streaming, and how that's going to affect things. I don't know if anyone else has thoughts on that. Yep.
So before we jump on that, I just have
we got to wrap soon, guys. We got to wrap soon, guys.
I have one more question about King of Knives. Mr. Pope, is this based off of his life? Because he wrote it and he produced it.
Right. Yeah, he wrote, but then Lindsay Joy is the actual screenwriter. So, but they work together. So it's story by Gene Pope, screenplay by Lindsay Joy. So they did collaborate and work together. But yeah, I mean, he personally relates to a lot of the storyline. I don't know personally how much is literally taken out of his life. I'm pretty sure a good amount, and then it's sort of, you know, Broadwayed, you know, made into you know. So, but yeah, it's pretty interesting that I think a lot of it is, it's very natural. That's why I think a lot of people relate to the characters. The characters are all very natural.
Yeah, very, very dynamic movie. Very dynamic. Definitely check it out. King of Knives.
I'm glad you dug it, man.
I did. David, tell everyone where they can keep up with you.
Well, right now, so I got music coming out soon, but there's right. So I'm working on stuff there, but you can always you can stalk me at Reverb Nation, David Rain, because there's a bunch of like unfinished things that I put up there just to feel out. But yeah, besides King of Knives, there's a movie called Room 9 that's coming out. It's a horror movie coming out in 2021. Lionsgate just picked it up, so that's going to be a good thing, and maybe it'll be in theaters. So you can check me. What's my IG? My IG is at The Path of David, and then I'm David M. Rain on Twitter.
All right. So,
no lies detected.
No lies detected. Yes.
No lies detected.
Which is
David
guy's blog. So we're going to be touching on some things. Actually, we're talking about a next show coming up soon.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, David, thank you for joining us. As always, congratulations on the success of the new movie. And we'll be right back after this.
All right. Peace.